Mary, did you know? I love that song.
My wife has seen that song.
Was she?
Now, here's the best part of Christmas for me. Linus and
Landon, Linus.
Oh, when he does Matthew, chapter 1 through 14.
Yeah, well, you like that?
God, he does. Christ peace. And that's the real meaning of Christmas.
Matthew what now?
I just looked at chiropractor, so I'm a little.
And the shepherds were watching their flock by night, and Israel came down.
Test 1, 2.
Yeah, Joe.
I know.
Mom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It works.
Give the man a microphone, he wants to be in the seat.
Hey, your favorite. I know. I digress.
You think? Yes.
That's amazing. I could be a little sophomore. Someone sent me a photograph of the comment section, and there's a slight retraction at Jimmy Williams. I guess underneath the editorial section. But he makes a slight correction. But speak to the devil.
That's not my business what you say there. Now, we're gonna keep you guessing. Musical chair?
It's called.
Actually, Bill. All right, commissioners and audience, if you would please join me and staff, please join me and put your phones to silent, off, sleep, however you want to do it. Let's see, don't be that guy.
Don't be that.
Don't be that guy. Anybody sign up to speak? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Take your time. I know you got something going on.
It's right up here.
Hey, Eric, would you do me a big favor and bring that up? All right, gentlemen, and audience and staff, it's 9 o'clock. Everybody please rise, open up for prayer. Father, thank you. Our first meeting as a new board. A lot to be done today, so we just ask for your wisdom. We just ask that we be in tune with you so that we can do what's good for our town. And we give you the praise and glory. Amen. You join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so board members, we do have public comment, but right before public comment, I just want to let you guys know that the acting town manager, Ms. Sonia, and Lisa and I met this morning to just kind of go through the dynamics of the morning, so we would have a little less confusion than we had our first meeting. And so one of the things that you're going to see with us wanting to move to Thursday, what we didn't realize is that it overlaps on WASA. So I believe Lisa's put a couple suggestion schedules out that we can discuss when we get there. But I just wanted to kind of give you background as to why you have some suggested schedules there, because what we currently have would overlap the WASA meeting schedule. And otherwise, I think we're good. So public comment. We'd like to invite up Mr. Frank Tersey, former commissioner. And Mr. Frank, I'm sure you know the rules, but state your name and your address. And we got 3 minutes. I'm pretty flexible.
Frank Tersey, 270 Woodbury Drive. I hope I'm okay to waste your time. Sincerely, I am. Really hope that you're not seriously considering appointing someone to one of our advisory boards, doesn't live in town, doesn't live in FCA, doesn't pay taxes in town. Especially when you have local folks, local nominees, who live here, who work here, have businesses here, who have invested their time, talent, energy, finances, investment. One of the things I learned when I was sitting up there, one of the first things I learned was you don't do something but and I understand the rules for this particular position. A lot of you appoint somebody who doesn't live in town. I don't know why they were written that way. Besides, maybe at some point you might want to correct. But legally you can do this. Doesn't mean it's the thing you should do. Every action you make will have an implication. And a good commissioner tries to understand what those implications are. And if you were to appoint someone to one of our committees, particularly a committee that spends tax money, someone who doesn't live here, doesn't pay taxes here, the message you will send to everyone who sits on our boards, our volunteer board, and anyone who may want to volunteer is that it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter how much time you have invested in this town. What matters is who you know and what groups you belong to. And that's a terrible thing. So, like I said, I hope you're not seriously considering doing that. I just wait. Thank you.
Frank, thank you. I'd like to invite up Eric Young at this time. And Eric, can you state your full name and your address?
Good morning, gentlemen. Eric Young, 116 South Water Street. I do live here in town. I'm 3 blocks down towards the water. Currently, as I like to call it, serving on the bench for the Historic Preservation Board as the alternate. I'm just throwing my hat in the ring to serve as a regular member and you to see fit. Thank you.
And when you say regular member, you mean voting member?
Correct.
All right, thank you, Mr. Eric. Anybody else in the audience like? There was Thank you, Frank, you got it. Thank you. Somebody got what I was saying. Somebody got my dry humor this morning. It is early in it for me, but that's okay. Really, and let me state that the staff, a couple of staff got here extra early this morning so we could prepare, and Lisa's traveling with doing school, and she still got here early this morning, so I can't say thank you enough to Sonny and Lisa for us being able to get that done this morning. And as always, thank you to all of our staff for what you guys do on a regular basis. All right, with that, we have the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda? Yeah, motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I believe I heard unanimous. And so, board members, when you hear me say, I believe I heard unanimous, that is not only for my benefit, that is also for our clerk's benefit. So you did not vote unanimous so that she knows that you didn't. Okay? So we have no public hearings, so we move into, I'm sorry, I jumped already. So we have appointments, recognitions, and presentations. And guys, if you guys will give me a few seconds to get my notes straight. One of the other things that Lisa and I are working on is large in part because we now are live. So what Elisa's going to start doing is setting context for each vote. So she will be letting the public and those who are on the live stream know what we are voting on, why we are voting on it. And she's also going to let you know what the potential motions can be. And then she's going to hand it off to me and to you guys for that discussion and for the final motion and such. So that's going to be a slight change from what you may have seen traditionally. But I think, and by the way, let me give credit where credit's due. It's Lisa's suggestion, and I think it's a great suggestion because it gives context to those who aren't sitting here in the audience and are joining us through live stream. So with that, give me a few seconds, Lisa, just to pull my notes, get them straight in front of me. And board members, the first one I believe we're going to do is Historic Preservation Commission. So I'm going to get my notes straight and then we'll get started.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
one of the things I noticed, and I'm not going to say this suggesting that, we do it now, but I think in the near future, we need to look at the possibility of, for people who are,
Yeah, is your microphone on? I don't feel like we hear you.
look,
Yeah, there you go.
for the people who are on the list, I think they should be here. Looking at, we got 15 names on this list, 9 of which, I'm going to be honest, I never remember. I know nothing about these people. Nothing. I think they need to be here. That's to be consistent.
If you do me a favor, I think you're absolutely, I agree with you fully. Can you remember to bring that up during the comment section? And so we can discuss that further? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so, and just making sure I have my notes here, so bear with me. Go ahead, sir.
The appointments that we're talking about today, historic preservation, tourism development program, I'm aware of all the components that an applicant is desired to be in the restaurant. I can go to people. But on the town thing, it's in the conflict of the town thing that I can recommend. However, what needs to be said? I think Jesse's absolutely right. I think if they had a dog in this fight and they were aware of the term of today, they should be. But then again, I don't know if it's legally or if it's not really notified. And that's most concerning from the law.
Because I see one applicant that I would recommend, he's in the audience for that. So maybe I have some other comments, but are we prepared to move ahead and make a decisive decision on appointments that last for exactly how long? 2 years, 4 years?
The Historic Preservation Commission appointments are 3-year terms, and the Tourism Development Authority are 2-year terms.
Okay. So basically, we're saddled with these folks, unless we decide to remove them for cause or reason. Is that the position you guys are looking at? I'm just asking a question.
All right, Mayor, I also have a comment. Let's see if this works again. I think at I know at the last meeting I mentioned that I felt.
Larry, you may want to come off the microphone just about half an inch or so.
Okay. Want to make sure everybody hears me, but at the last meeting I mentioned that I felt like that these appointments needed to be made in a regular session, and particularly that night at the organizational meeting, which was traditional for the town. I think in terms of making these appointments at a special meeting scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning goes against what some of the members have said about transparency. I know that we're on a live feed, but most people on a Friday morning at 9 o'clock are typically at their workplace. And so it's very difficult, I think, for them to be here in order to address this board or to express anything or for us to have any questions. So I think it's very inappropriate for us to be making these appointments at 9 o'clock on Friday morning at a special meeting that was just given 48 hours notice.
I'm going to touch on what you said right there. Is there a requirement that we must do this in the month of December?
The board appointments generally do occur in the month of December because they expire in December or
Right.
January date. And it's every year the same expiration, because when somebody's appointed to a seat that's vacant, they take the seat of that same person and keep their expiration. So it always falls in December or January or June for our board appointments.
Okay.
So it's basically every half a year for appointments.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, some good input. We'll have to make a decision.
I'd like to piggyback on that. I agree. 48 hour notice on the Friday morning is kind of tough. People may not have been able to make the work, and so I agree with Jeff. There, that it may be better to do it at a different time, although we need to do it in a timely manner.
I go ahead and make that. I believe this here, if we want to speak to the individual that is going to, as Jeff was saying, I'm as hamstrung as Jeff is. I know about 95% of the people that would be wise if we want to talk to them, we want to meet them, make sure they don't have some heads or whatever. Sorry.
Mayor,
I think we need to, we do need to hold this at a different time. It's more convenient for candidates.
Okay. All right, so I'm just putting this out there. This is not to be disagreeable with anybody. And just so that you're aware, the staff had asked for these two because these two have pending administrative things that they need to do. And again, if we have to push it off, we have to push it off. I'm letting you know why that we put this on. And we tried to do this on a Thursday night, but due to schedules, both on the board and the staff, we were not able to do it on that Thursday night. So just, that's information, it's not agree or disagree. All right, Ms. Elisa, you'd like to say something?
Yes, I was going to mention that if the board chooses tonight not to act with board appointments, I would recommend that you table it to a specifically designated meeting instead of just not doing it. I would recommend it.
Good question. Does it violate?
Joe, hold on, I got Larry first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Larry.
I'd just like to go ahead and make a motion that the appointment of these boards and commissions be moved to the first meeting in January, and which will give an opportunity for any of these candidates or applicants to address the board and or for commissioners to be able to get in contact with them, to ask them any questions, to get to know them better. I just feel like that, again, going back to the last meeting, it was traditional, getting back to the need to have these positions filled, that they should have been addressed at the last meeting. But to do it on a Friday morning, a special meeting, again, is inappropriate. So I'd make that motion to move these appointments and any other appointments that we have to the first meeting in January.
All right, so we do have a motion on the table before I ask for a second. Since we've already had so much discussion, Joe, you're going to actually go ahead.
I was just gonna ask a question, I think Larry just answered for me, that does it break the protocol, or, what, if I were, say I wanted to, talk to Eric, I could pick up the phone call?
Mayor, there's a motion on the floor, and I think it calls for a second before we have any additional comment on it.
Okay, very all right, that's fine. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Now, back to this. All right, go back, go ahead, Joe.
Is it permissible for, board members to pick up the phone and call the candidates just to talk to them, get their mindset on what they see as their role, talk to them about, get to know them. But we're not gonna, even if they come here, it's gonna be a snapshot of time right then. It's not gonna be, we're not gonna leave here at full pound, I'm just saying, it's just rules that call and talk.
No, it is not, which is why we included their phone number on the talent pay application.
Kind of follow.
Very good. All right, so we have a motion on the floor, we have a second, any further discussion?
I have no problem pushing this off. See who face to face. Look right now.
So the only other thing I would add to the discussion, even though I agree with Joe, with all everybody, and again, we applaud Eric for being here, and again, maybe not fair to folks in their work schedules, but Eric definitely made it up to be here. And would it be easier for the board to have I don't know if you call it a workshop or what, but that all of the potential candidates are asked to be here so that they can present themselves at the microphone and what their qualifications are and why they should present a case for themselves, I guess is what I'm saying, to the board as a whole. Now, it doesn't forbid you from reaching out to them as individuals, but it seems to me that they would come here and present to the board, whether we do that in a workshop or whether we do that at a corporate meeting. I'm flexible, but I don't, I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't foresee you guys calling every single one of these members. If y'all surprise me and make me wrong, I'm okay with that, but I think we should have them come here and present to us and present their case, maybe give them 5 minutes instead of 3.
And that's fine. However we want to do that, I think the motion that's going on right now is 9 o'clock on Friday on a work day. Is that a good time?
Yeah.
Is that a program? So if we change that to an evening, and any evening, it doesn't matter. Just get to know the people that are trying to come on board. I mean, I went on the planning board and it was like, I had a brief summary here. I got up, spoke for a minute, 2 minutes, and then the vote was taken. Is that really long enough to get to know somebody that wants to go on the planning board? The planning board is pretty important. Council was.
All right, well,
Mayor, just a comment to that. I think it's important to take a look at the credentials, and that's the reason we ask, for that information to be provided to us, to be able to see what their backgrounds are and their experiences and things like that, to be able to apply those skills, knowledge, abilities to whatever the applicant might be applying to serve on. For instance, someone that may be an engineer may not be someone that necessarily serves on the Parks Board. You might be looking for somebody that has been connected in some way with Parks and Recreation. And that might not be the greatest example, but still, that's one of the things that I think is board members need to take a look at is what experiences, what do they bring to the table. And if they want to address us, great, but I think also we need to do our due diligence in terms of taking a look at their credentials and then making those phone calls to see what skills they have. So to have 15 or 20 people come up and address us, that's going to be a very long meeting.
Well, and I understand that, but I'm also okay with it. All right, so I'm going to close the discussion. I think we've got the gist of this. So we'll go ahead and make we have a motion and a second on moving to the beginning of the year staff. On behalf of the board, I don't want to apologize, but I regret that we have to do this. So I know this was more work on you guys until the beginning of the year. So just bear with us. I'm actually very excited. Heck, we have like our first or second unanimous discussion here, a lot of agreement, and I think that's a positive step forward. So bear with us as processes and things change. So with that, all in favor of moving the selection of the TDA and Historic Preservation Commission candidates to the beginning of the year, and a meeting to be scheduled at a later time? All in favor? Unanimous, as I hear it. All right, with that, we will move forward. So you guys, give me again an opportunity to get my notes. All right, so no board appointments today, which I, again, total agreement with everybody. Public hearing, none. Business non-consent. All right, meeting schedule. So as I brought to your attention, it has been brought to my attention that we have a conflict with the ONWASA board schedule. And so what we did, so it means that the person who represents the board would not be able to attend one of the other meetings, so that we need to adjust. And Lisa has, at least I gotta get back to our new rule here, so Lisa, you're actually presenting this, and I apologize. I gotta break old habits here, so I would like to invite Ms. and Lisa to discuss our future meeting schedule.
Good morning. As Mayor indicated, conflict has been discovered with the proposed first and third Thursdays of the month with the ONWASA board meeting dates. So with that, a suggestion to look at the second and fourth Tuesday and second and fourth Thursday has been recommended. The schedules for a second and third Tuesday and Thursday would result in there only being one meeting in October, because that meeting would fall in the week of Mullet Festival, which we typically do not have a meeting that week because it's a very busy week. And the Tuesday schedule would not have a second meeting in December, as that would fall on Christmas Eve. So if Tuesday is your consideration, you would have one meeting in October and one meeting in December, and all the other months would have a two meeting schedule, and then the Thursday would all the months, but October would have 2 meetings. So I have provided option A and option B for you, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays. Any schedule you choose will result in an amendment to our town code, chapter 30.25, the regular meetings. It does need to be updated for the date and time of meetings, as well as amending our board policy for the monthly meetings.
Was the, I don't know if you're done.
No, I am finished, thank you.
Look to me when you're ready, and that way I got 5 of them. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me, Lisa know that we're on the same page here. All right, go ahead.
I'm finished.
Okay. All right. Any questions? So what I will do is say, is there any questions? All right. Any questions, really? No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead. You're up.
Okay. The only question I have is the conflicts. Is the ONWASA board the only conflict with the Thursday schedule, the primary conflict?
Yes,
And how often does ONWASA meet?
they meet quarterly.
Quarterly?
That meeting schedule was in the last packet.
Yeah, what's the interval of their meetings, Russell? Because we can schedule like a Tuesday that week when they're on that Thursday that week. If they only meet like once a quarter or monthly perhaps. I mean, staggered. Well, just kind of be flexible here.
They have 6 meetings a year, and it is on the second.
Bi-monthly.
Yeah, so it's the second Thursday of every other month. So that's a whole 2 weeks.
That offers a better clarification. Thanks.
So which day would work best for you as a staff? Would Tuesdays or Thursdays work better for
I prefer Tuesday.
you? Tuesday.
I see a lot of nods.
Because that's very important. I mean, you guys do a lot of work, and then you just pile more work on top of you. So that's very important to me.
Thanks for you nodding yes to. You're flexible, that's a
How about the Chiefs? How about which day was it? Does it matter? You never know when you have
Okay, the Thursdays is not so great for you guys. Okay. All right. Yeah, Larry?
Yeah, the only thing I thought was, you know, some of our own boards and commission meetings, you know, I would think that we would try and avoid as many conflicts with those as well.
I think that's what she's done by doing the second, or second.
The second and fourth Tuesday would not conflict with any of our existing board meetings. Planning board is the first Tuesday, and historic is the third Tuesday, so second and fourth prevents any interruptions with our code.
And that just sounds like, in that 6 o'clock time, I feel it means 6 instead of 5:30. And I don't know whether you still would comfortable with board.
I think 6 o'clock was me, but I think it should be later, because I'd like to see more people. Back to what you said earlier, more people, so. All right, so, well, we got more stuff, go ahead.
As a member of the current workforce, 5:30 was always tough for me. I'm telling you, it's an hour to come back from a half hour away up in downtown Jacksonville to get here. Traffic can be a bear sometimes. And what I really want to find out is, what is it, if I understood, Tuesday works better for the staff than Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only concern really with the schedule is apparently it's been cleared up. The advising, a lot of times it's good to have the information that happens, something that happened at the advisory board meeting, maybe the day before. Or sometimes I attend some of the advisory board meetings, so I have to be at some. So I would prefer, whichever schedule you choose, that it not be in conflict with any advisory board.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so I'm going to sum this up. It sounds like from what I'm hearing, Tuesdays will work for everybody, and it also works for staff, and it also works for the advisory boards. Am I misunderstanding y'all?
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear from you, so.
If nobody's heard me say it before, I'm retired, and, so I'm really flexible.
Okay. All right, very good.
And I'll-
So, do I have a motion to support the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, there's still, I believe, going to be some conflicts at the beginning of the year. I know we will have at least one commissioner absent at the beginning of the year, plus bear with me.
Now, we're on the Tuesday schedule, right?
Yeah.
Why do you throw out that?
All right. Okay. All right, Mrs. Lisa, what do you?
So the conflict that we originally were going to have with the Thursdays would not affect the 3 board members in the second meeting of January any longer, as their ethics is Thursday and Friday. So the Tuesday meeting is good for that conflict.
Okay, what about the first week or second week of the year? All right, that's just when we want to do a lot of work sessions that week. So board members, just so you understand, on that second week, we will have, not only will we have several workshops, but we'll be having a regular meeting in that second week of the year. So it's going to be a labor-intensive week for all of us on that second week of the year. So, all right,
I've got a comment.
please.
The only thing that looks, because this deals with my work schedule. I have to be out of town between 15 and 20.
So if we're scheduling workshops in that time, we can
Second week of
set,
Second week is when we schedule.
that's the 8th and the 12th. Yes, and that's, if they were just not you too, but I'm sure that, with enough notification, we can let you know, that's not a problem.
Okay. And then I think the workshops for the staff benefit will be mostly, I mean, there may be some items, but mostly in the day, in the morning, I think, right? Is that what we traditionally do?
It's the board's choice. If you choose to have it another time than the second week, you still have that option to make that choice later on, as we haven't issued any special meeting notices. And it could also be possible that we may need to address it based on the interim town manager's availability as well. So we may have some other considerations to throw into that pot when we move further along with our changes that we need to enact with our.
Understand. Got it. All right. Anything else on meeting schedule? And we have to review. Okay.
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
would also need a motion to approve ordinance 2023-013, amending the town code for the second and fourth Tuesday at 6 p.m. And a motion to amend the board policy number 1 for the monthly meetings to also be the
Can it be the same motion? Do I have a motion?
So,
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, following our new meeting procedures here, I'd like to invite up Sonia Johnson to discuss our employee Christmas bonus consideration.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioner. So at the last meeting, the board directed staff to prepare some options for the board to consider a Christmas bonus. I did mention that obviously longevity, we did receive a longevity pay. However, this is something in addition to. Of course, I tried to work some more options, but it just didn't, there's got to be some more eligibility criteria to do this. It's just going to take way too long. So what I did was I did 2 options. But there could be a third, which would be a flat fee for everybody. So I'm just going to put it out there. I have just suggested that, we would get full-time 200, the first option, part-time 150, and then volunteer 100, or the second option would have been 150 full-time, part-time 100, and volunteer 50. So, or a flat fee for everybody. So I'll leave that up to you and you. So the first option, the total amount that we would have to do a budget amendment for would be $13,950, and the second would be $9,850.
I like the one that, the suggestion with 200, my only change to that would be the part-time, we talked at 150, they would get 100. I just think that's the right thing to do. And then I believe that 50 is for volunteers. Is that correct?
So you want to do 200 for full-time, part-time 100, and volunteer 50?
Yes. That would be my adjustment to what you have. I don't have a problem with that, but board members, what else thoughts?
I'm fine with that, volunteers or just that, volunteers, but, it's nice to recognize them as well. And definitely full-time, we want to take care of full-time and our part-time, but definitely our full-time.
Larry?
is this something that we would implement on an annual basis?
I think we should.
Okay.
But that's my.
If that's the case, I think that the board and the town needs to, staff needs to go ahead and take a look at the longevity. My experience with the longevity pay is really it was created to give our employees Christmas at the Christmas. And just to go in and revamp that and just increase the percentages or whatever for longevity based on kind of what we do in town. And and I can tell you, I was a local government employee for 34 years, so my heart is definitely with employees. But at the same time, I think we need to address this in a very organized fashion so that it is consistent from one year to the next.
Well, Larry, just, and Jeff, I got you, but Larry, although I agree with you, I think that should be a long-term, issue, and that we solve it for next, the end of next year through our budget cycle, but for this year, I feel like we should go ahead and do something. Jeff?
Yeah, pretty much like, Bill Potter over here. I've been a product of the institution for years, not criminal, by the way, federal government. But I like performance. Only because the reward that you do for actual work that they do is not just appearing work every day. But, I'll bring that up later, because I agree with you, we need to do something right now, that we need to do something
Okay. Anybody else? All right, now I got three things. I love it. I'll tell you what, we'll just keep going down this way. Go ahead.
So for clarity, we currently don't give a Christmas bonus.
Well,
Currently, right now, what is the policy right now?
right now is based on anniversary date.
So that's not a Christmas bonus.
No, it's called longevity, but it is, I guess.
That's what we're talking about, all right? And if we're gonna do something long term, then we need to look at this long term and look at the budget, look at and put it in the workshops and everything else, and make sure that we can afford these things that we're asking the taxpayers to do. At the end of the day, guys, the taxpayers, where this is sourced from, okay? Everything, every dime that we do now, that's saying that about Muhammad, right? I'm 100% for giving Christmas bonuses, but do so, with a plan moving forward. And I don't mind being sure, even if we didn't plan for this year's budget. My question to you, the finance folks, can we afford this year? If I see it's yes, tell me if you've worked this out yet. I'm all about charity. This
With
is
the budget amendment.
I'm about the Christmas spirit.
I have to do a budget amendment.
I'm a 100% Christmas supporter. And I love this time of year. For so many reasons.
Yeah. What I thought we can do is during the budget process, maybe, because there's a lot of things that have to go into this.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be minimum. Because that's an issue I was falling into, because I try to do the percentage and then reducing it by the longevity, but it just won't work out. So I just figured just do the flat this year, maybe bring it up
Right.
or budget, when we're doing the budget workshop, and maybe we can come up with some type of criteria.
I'm going to say this. We have software. We have algorithms that can run all this, no problem. All you got to do is put it on paper, put it in front of us, and let's make a decision. But I'm 100% and I will support, if it's motion for it, I'll support a Christmas budget or a Christmas bonus for this year.
And just for clarification, Doug, I don't want to see this as charity. To me, it's a thank you.
Right.
I just want to separate that.
The thing is, John, we're not coercing.
Yeah.
This, and anything is not coercion, it's not, this becomes the charity category.
Okay.
This is how we show each other, charity,
Okay.
even so.
Sometimes the word charity is taken.
I know.
I didn't care for most of that word.
I just
The
want
left has redefined these words now
Okay.
for 30, 40 years.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, so
Bill.
I'm inclined to agree. I think right now, if the budget can afford it, we need to give them a Christmas bonus. I agree with Jeff on the performance evaluations. Do you currently do a yearly evaluation and get a compensation and increase based on that?
So this past year, we did get a merit up to 4%, I believe,
Which is standard in
but it was based on performance, yes.
And so on top of that, I don't see anything wrong as long as we budget for it. To also, in addition, give a annual Christmas bonus. That's just my personal opinion, and coming from a background of working in the private sector, we gave a yearly review and a performance increase if it was warranted, anywhere from basically 0 to 4%, like you were saying. And then on top of it, we would also to show appreciation for the hard job that everybody does. I mean, in my mind, $200 isn't enough, but it is what it is. That you have to do what you can afford to do. But you do formal work for $200. it is a sign, it's more of a sign of appreciation than a monetary value.
I don't think they complain of being free. Anybody would say,
We appreciate it.
yeah. All right, all right, keep moving, Joe.
All right, one last, hopefully the last comment. 100% support the Christmas bonus at the festival. So I work for the federal government as well. Yeah, and we never got a Christmas bonus except for that middle of the month check you got, your paycheck. Look, keep this as a simple Christmas bonus, and then let's work on, because I think I've talked to several of the department heads. I know this board wants to look at increases in salaries, and training, and options that will help us retain the best people we can get. The hire the best people we can get and then retain them. So that's a whole other conversation we're gonna have after the first year. So I say we need to get on with this Christmas bonus and put that maybe today. I'll call for a vote on Christmas bonus. Oh, Larry, you got something else?
I'd like, Larry, unless you got something.
I got one last comment to make, is that if you check the longevity pay, that the longevity pay came out of conversations just like we're having right now. And the other thing is that we're not a private business, and so the reason that there's not an attachment to Christmas bonus on longevity pay, you might say, is because we are a local government. And so we don't get into Christmas and we don't get into other religious holidays, regardless of how I personally feel about it. So I think from a board standpoint, other boards in the past, years ago, had the same conversation about Christmas bonuses. And this is the result of longevity pay, without getting into some of the other implications. And I certainly support giving our employees additional pay, particularly this time of year. It's a special time of year in multiple ways. And, but I just think we really need to do it in a very organized approach, which has already been done. And that's the reason there's longevity pay today. And my views would be, we want to give them more, let's increase the percentages at the different levels as far as longevity is concerned. But I do support the special time.
Doug, you want to have something?
This is exactly why we need like a number here right now in the attorney. Because I think what Larry's bringing up is the First Amendment. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion. It just says that the government won't make a determination or won't have a branded religion. It doesn't say the government can't celebrate, national holidays, which we do, and religious holidays, which we do. It just says that the government won't endorse one specific religion. Okay, so I want you to just correct that one for the record.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, at this point, do I have a motion to accept go ahead, if you got it.
I want to verify. So what I hear is 200 for full-time, 100 for part-time, and 50 for volunteer.
Yeah, that's what the board motion is, yes, ma'am. And do I have a motion to support or otherwise Sonia's proposal?
Yeah, I'm motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
I would like to just add an additional.
Larry. Let me ask for discussion.
Okay.
Some words, okay? All right, so we have a motion on the floor, we have a second for 200, 150, for full-time, part-time, and volunteers in that work. All right. Further discussion?
Just, I support the motion, but add that the staff take a look at implementing something in the future that would be more consistent from a year-to-year basis.
And I believe the staff's already said and agreed that that's what they'll do. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I heard all ayes, any opposed? Verification? Unanimous. All right. We have no items moved for consent, public comment, so we'll close, we have public comment, anybody? Okay, no public comment. Sonia, any manager's comments? Okay, final board comments? Joe,
I'm sorry, say again.
board comments?
So I think I'm good. Enjoyed it.
Bill?
Thank you, Eric, for coming, and Frank for coming, and your advice is well needed. It's always good to hear people give their advice on what they'd like to see done, and I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays, and thanks for all the hard work. Putting up with the newbies coming up here, trying to reschedule meetings, and reschedule them again, just everybody working together. It's good to see everybody working together.
Very good. Larry?
Yeah, just, Merry Christmas to everyone, and Happy Holidays. And yeah, I will say that, the other is just a different concern. But just wishing everybody just happy holidays, be safe out there. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to the staff, and I don't think we'll see you anymore unless we just pop by that town hall between now and Christmas time. But and thank you for everything that y'all did.
Very good, Joe.
Once again, thank you, staff, for everything you've been doing for the town and for the board. Yes, I too will say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. And I hope we all have a good new year. With that also, Mr. Mayor, I know you asked me to bring up about the advisory board applicants. One thing I'd like to ask you is that just because they don't show up, I don't think we should actually disqualify them from being looked at. So just giving us an extra hope.
True, it's certainly their option, and then that's each board member to decide, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, I've got a couple, Doug, I apologize. Doug, I apologize.
That's Joe.
I did, go ahead, you're up, I'm sorry.
All right. Oh, yeah, first of all, Merry Christmas, everyone. Now, dealing with the agenda, I am not going to be very moved to nominate or support the nomination for someone that won't show up for a job interview. I'm going to say that for the record, okay? If you want the job, show up. I think that's something, one of the problems we're seeing in our country, in our state, that they've gotten this idea that show up for work. Second thing I want to talk about real quick is I'm getting a little, I actually love free speech, and I love the First Amendment. But I challenge anyone out there that's in the business of the First Amendment, I'm talking to everybody in the room here, that you go out and do due diligence. You actually talk to the people who vote. Instead of swirling around in Facebook and social media pages of people that rarely show up to vote or only have one side of the opinion. Okay? Go knock on somebody's door in Charleston Park. Go knock on someone's door in Shadow Creek. Talk to them. Get their side of the story before you, as First Amendment or social media, go decide to print. When I say print, I mean digital media as well. Okay? If you want to be a civil or what I call civilian journalist, which I like, all right? Civilian journalists are the guys that maybe don't get paid to do what they do, but they're interested in finding the truth. The best perspective of that is the people that have to pay their bread. So take some time talking to these people who are subject to these policies. And that's the biggest thing I have to say this year. And Merry Christmas once again.
Very good. Well, to the staff, I just want to say thank you. I want to appreciate and say it publicly how long y'all have been with me since our board changeover, and how helpful y'all have been, and that just means the world to me as the mayor. I've got several items, and this is not meant to call out anybody or make anybody's job difficult. It's things that I'd like to see us get into our future agendas and discussion topics, and to be helpful. So the number one thing is that I'm getting feedback out on the streets is Christmas lights. And I know Tank is fighting with Duke to try to get, our poles activated, so this is not a reflection on Tank. I'm also, getting feedback on the quality of our Christmas lights and, what we can do to get, our Christmas lights looking sharp. The feedback I got from somebody the other day was, hey, it looks so beautiful coming through Cedar Point and then we hit Swamp Grove. I do not want Cedar Point to be us. God bless them, I love them, I got friends over there. But when we have lights across our town, I want them to come out of Cedar Point and go, ha, I'm in Swamp Grove. This looks sharp. I love the, anywhere that we can, it's legal. I know you can't do it across BOC roads. I love the hangovers. I'm not sure what the proper name for them is, but those are absolutely gorgeous. And they really pop for the town. So, Tank, I don't know how much of that was you, but they look great, and I appreciate it on that. And we don't have to discuss this today, but in the future, into the year. But thank you. I know you are busting Duke as hard as you can go. I appreciate it.
The thing about Cedar Point is that they have lights at River Pool.
Yeah.
On Sunday Road. That is not the case in Swanville. That doesn't mean you can't, but that you have to pay for those lights.
Yes, sir.
You pay for the usage of the outlets on those poles to do every year. And right now we have, what we have out there on the road is about 35. Cedar Point, every other pole all the way down both sides. So they can afford that, but that is going to be a cost increase to us if we decide to have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then the additional, ordinance that we have to add to fulfill that.
And Tank, thank you. And I guess staff, just for a reminder, we are live now, so if you need to comment, we got to start using the microphone. So, and no worries, Tank, on that for this time. I think I've gotten this. I think we have this as one of the work sessions, but the dock walk needs to be a part of one of our work sessions. Another one that was brought up to me recently, and I know you guys have heard this from me multiple times, but I'd like to get the discussion back on board, is the crosswalk during festivals. Again, I know where my thoughtful location is, but our police officers and our fire department, y'all are the professionals. There may be a different place that's better. So, but I feel like the community feedback I'm getting is we need a crosswalk during our festivals, somewhere that people can come across 24 safely during the festivals. Board members, I'd like to offer up to the board and get permission for Sonia. My wife Jennifer is willing to do this for free, so it would be no cost to the town. But I feel like as a board, we need to come together and do a vision workshop that encompasses all 6 of us and what our vision is for the next 2 years to the next election. And my wife does this professionally within the school system. And again, it would be no cost to the board. She would come in, do that as a part of a workshop. It's typically about a 4-hour workshop. Would the board be supportive of that? Yes. I see some nods. Jeff, Larry? Yeah, okay. So, yes, sir.
Anything that brings us, tighter together as a working team, working group, I'm all for it. And can't do that without your.
Okay, very good. So Sonia, I will make sure you have my wife's phone number. And all right, employee recognition, Sam Blandiner. I'm not sure where we are in the planning stages for Sam Blandiner, but no, I see.
We don't have anything set yet.
Okay. So I would also like to make a suggestion before the board that any employee of the quarters, employee of the year, regardless of what department that they're in, that we consider allowing them to be a part of that, and that way we're not only recognizing our citizen of the year, we're also recognizing our employees of the year. And we may need to, maybe staff, y'all have a suggestion here, maybe you don't want every quarter employee, but at least whoever your employee of the year is, I think them and their family should be invited so that they can be get that shout out and as a part of that reception as well, please. Board members, are you okay with that? I'm seeing nods.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, I don't know, I know you only got 2 weeks left, and I'm not putting too much on you, son. You just look at me and say, John, put on the brakes. I would still love to see us do an employee of the year, and where each department submits to you, Sonia, who that is, and you guys come together as directors, and y'all actually debate who that person is, and I would expect the fire department guy to be defending his person, I'd be expecting the rec department to be defending their person or promoting their person, and through good dialogue and debate, y'all come up with an employee of the year, but that's, again, that's a suggestion. You've got 2 weeks if you want to do it, but I just think it would be valued, and that person would also be recognized in front of the board, and then we would also invite you to that reception. I'll leave that one up to you. Secondly, and maybe this needs to be a part of the workshop, I've received some feedback that our town manager position and our human resources position has been the same, and I've gotten feedback that makes folks uncomfortable. So if that's something that we can look at in January and how that might be, whether it should stay the same, because I'm not the expert here, or whether it should be separated, or how we should do that. My comment section.
The role, I actually took the role of HR.
Okay, as the finance director.
So, yes,
So you have both.
yes. So I have one individual doing the payroll, and I have one individual doing the HR, onboarding, operating, and I would be the one that's actually involved in the hiring.
So now you got 3 jobs.
But, it's a segregation of duties,
I got you.
and so it has to be done that way.
Okay.
But it's taken care of, but
All right, so
we
we
decided
may,
to do something different.
we may want to look to see if we can help you on that, because I know you have a lot to do, but we need to understand. So it's more of a comprehensive understanding question. I just know I've gotten feedback.
Yes, but it's no longer, it's under my.
I got you, okay. And that may be that we just weren't notified of that. And my last thing is Shadow Creek. I think we need to have a workshop. I don't know if you want to call it a workshop. It needs to be an agenda item on Shadow Creek, because I believe there's some information that needs to come before the whole board, and I don't want to put out false with that information, but I'd like that information from the Shadow Creek presentation to be brought to the board. And if it needs to be done in closed session because it involves legal, then we just need to know that. All right, so I've said a lot again. Thank you, board. I really appreciate you guys debating the topics and actually coming into agreement. A couple of unanimous decisions here, and that I think that shows good work, and I appreciate that. We even made a hard change, and everybody agreed on the hard change, and that's very good. Thank you much. Again, staff, thank you. You guys are doing incredible. I think we've got the best staff around, and I can't tell you, contrary to, and Jimmy, God bless you, but a lot of what gets printed in our Kylan News. When I talk to people in Jacksonville, I talk to people in Morgan City, I talk to people in Emerald Isle, they look at us and we do so much good things in Swansboro. And the number one answer to that is the staff is doing a great job. But I get compliments all over Alton County and Carteret County for the work that y'all do. We don't do it. We make some decisions up here, but y'all execute, and we appreciate what y'all do. Jimmy, could you please stand quickly, if you would? I would like to recognize Jimmy just briefly here, and maybe we want to bring him back again when we have more public, but Jimmy got recognized by our Crime Stoppers, and so everybody give Jimmy a good round of applause.
Big part of that is my goal is to the stories that I put in the paper, he stays real close to it. And I think really like
Jamie, thank you for doing that, and as much grief as we give you, thank you for what you do for Crime Stop. All right, with that, I'd like to ask, all right, Elisa, would you like to do the closed session so we stay on our new rhythm? Okay, so.
The recommended motion for entering closed session this morning is pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11a to establish or instruct the public body staff on negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the public body in negotiating the amount of compensation and other material terms of employment contract or proposed employment contract. And 6, to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of additional employment of an individual officer or employee or prospective employee officers or member. And I entertain a motion to enter closed session based on those 2 statutes.
All right, board members, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, Jimmy, it is my understanding that we will not be coming back with any information at this time. So with that, if there is, they will certainly notify you. If there is, but I don't expect it to be. So with that, all in favor? All right, board members, due to new technical difficulties that are good problems to have with our live streaming, the staff has asked that we would please go back to the town manager's office for closed session.
Great job, guys.
You know what, I think it's Sunday for it sounds like we're gonna have a meeting. I didn't say very good.
I engaged in front office. Bullies, social media bullies, or if they're not getting some, Merry Christmas to y'all. Just
Me either, bro.
Sugar is low.
I know my United States studied that.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, too many cups of coffee.
I don't think they're gonna show me.
I've had my coffee, please make sure your microphone.
Other than Roberts, and then you can put it up on Roberts rules and stuff like that as well.
Just for closed session. We'll have to do this for closed session, that will be a
So that thing's always on.
lot. Once she turns it on, it's on until they turn it off.
Cool. I like it.
They want to check with the county to see how the county does that. Yes, ma'am. I'll be quiet. She give me the look. You ever did?
The link to that feed is on
Okay.
the website.
All right, gentlemen, we have motioned and seconded and voted to come out of closed session. Is there any further comments? All right, so ladies and gentlemen that are watching the live stream, there's no decisions at this point to report coming out of closed session. And there will probably be some closed sessions in the future. And again, we're trying to take care of our attorney situation as well as our town manager situation. In the meantime, we are in good hands with Ms. Sonia and Ms. Lisa. So with that, do I have a motion to close, to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned.
First day of work.
You did good, man. You did good. Pat on the back. There you go. Only 2 years.
I only got one hospital environment.
That was Joey.
I'm on my way to
Yeah, take care.
Take care.
Have a Merry Christmas.
All right, Bill.
Yes, we'll see you next, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Bill, today. Really? Oh, no, never mind. Just leave, man. You don't hurt my feelings.
I'll probably see you next week. We'll get back next week.
For a special meeting.
See you guys.
Bill,
Bye,
is it going to?
later.
Just in case, what day?
Merry Christmas.
Point of contact, Mr. Jackson.
You know what?
Yeah.
You should feel
That's
good.
literally 2 of them. You know, she adjusted my back.
Oh, right, that's what it is.
Contract.
How do you miss it when you help?
I'm so excited.
Very good.
So am I ready for this or what? Hang on a second now.
We're gonna be next week, so I